episode positive 1, take 1. So the purpose of these episodes is going to be in me sharing my experience with some various different health concerns, and how in knowing our body and understanding the body systems is going to help you, empower you when it comes to getting your blood work done and the doctor saying, hey, there ain't nothing wrong with you, because you know better. On today's episode, we're going to discuss, have you ever experienced some weird pain in this area? I know that was a little bit of a dramatic reenactment, but all right, so here's what had happened. So I was noticing very frequently, and so to take you back, this was like pre-COVID, so we're talking 2019-ish. I found myself being in an excruciating pain, very uncomfortable pain whenever I would squat down to pick something up. You know, like you can't just pick it up, you gotta squat down so your knees would bend. And so when my knees would bend, I would feel really uncomfortable in that area, and I didn't understand why, and I would feel back there, and at the time it felt kind of swollen, but I didn't pay any attention to it. And so like I mentioned before, I'm a relatively healthy-ish individual, right? My blood test came back good, everything's good. So why in the world was I feeling that uncomfortable sensation behind my knee? It's not like I was overweight, right? If I was overweight or had gained too much weight, maybe it was just fat, right? And so that's kind of what I thought initially, but I'm like, but I wasn't overweight. I was still well within the range. Then I remembered, then I thought, hey, wait a minute. Maybe about a year prior, I had noticed that no matter how long I would stand to wash the dishes, my ankles would swell a little bit. I mean, we're not talking like Elephant Man swollen, but we're talking like noticeably different. And so I started to kind of connect the dots a little bit later. Something to note, there was no pre-existing type of injury. I'm not a runner. There was no indication that it could have been what some people might think. What maybe it was a Baker's cyst. Not a chance. So what could it have been? What was ailing me? What was not working properly? Heard of something called the lymphatic system? Haven't heard of it? It's no surprise. Check out this article from PubMed. So you might be wondering, well, how in the world did you even find out about the lymphatic system? So remember in my first episode, I mentioned that I was able to align with a great, amazing group. And so with that, this beautiful education came into my brain. So let's hear from Beth exactly what the lymphatic system is.
The lymph system, as you can see here, is a very long, you can consider it like a string of pearls, and it is millions upon millions of nodes that are strung together like this. Some are the size of a pinhead, some are about the size of a lima bean. And what they do is guard the body against the intrusive and destructive substances that enter our body through our environment, through things that we're putting on our skin. And sometimes you can actually feel when our lymph nodes are getting congested. Have you ever felt that kind of on the side of your neck? If you feel like you're starting to get sick, sometimes that's one of our early warning signs of like, ooh, something's off. And that is a sign that your body is working when they get tender and swollen. So as the fluid moves through each of these nodes, it's another chance for your body to fight off this pathogen. That is what your lymphatic system is here for.
So when initially I heard Beth talk about the lymphatic system, and then I think I heard Mapu talk about the lymphatic system, oh, these little nuggets kept getting stored, until eventually I realized what the problem was. So, you know how they're always talking about movement and how it's just so beneficial? Well, I had an aha moment where I noticed that, guess what, I wasn't moving as much as I should have been. And so how does that link in with the lymphatic system? Let me tell you. So we all know and are familiar with the heart. What's the purpose of the heart? It moves the blood through the body, right? Well, guess what? The lymphatic system does not have a pump. Food for thought. So if the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump, How does the lymph fluid move through your body? Because guess what? We have so many different lymph nodes and things throughout our body, all over the place. How does it move? With movement. So just a quick tip as to what else we can do to improve or help our lymphatic system. One simple way is through breath work or through breathing exercises, and how you can incorporate your essential oils into that. And so essentially with breathing exercising or breath work, you're taking some deep breaths in on a count, holding them for a count, and then releasing them for a count. So awesome way that you can then incorporate your essential oils is you can just get a roller, a bottle, roll it on your hand, and then you're gonna rub them together and just cup them over your nose and mouth. And it's as simple as that. And so just that simple technique of exercising and using your lungs, you're getting to move that lymph fluid around. Let's get some more nuggets from Beth.
Lymph system. So think of it like this. If you think of water in two different forms, water, when it's moving and flowing like a river or a stream, it's beautiful, it's clean, it's inviting. But if you've got water that's stuck in like a stagnant pond that's getting no circulation, how inviting and how clean is that water? It's not, right? It starts to grow bacteria and algae and mold and different things because there is no oxygen, because there is no flow. That's what can start to happen to our lymphatic system when it starts to get clogged up. So you can see on this sign here some different ways to notice if our lymphatic system is getting backed up. So things like constipation, obviously it's not functioning well then, right? If we're not eliminating it all. Morning stiffness, having swelling in our extremities, having sore breasts with our menstrual cycle. I mean, all of this is normal, but if you have more tenderness than you think should be there, it's just a sign that your body's a little bit taxed. Skin issues, headaches is a really big signal that your lymph system is overloaded and you have too many toxins that your body can deal with. And so that will lead to brain fog, lack of energy, having recurrent sore throats, or having a lot of mucus in the morning.
Ding, ding, ding. Light bulbs were going off galore when I learned what you just learned in that previous clip. So swelling, yep. Host of other things. So guess what? My lymphatic system was not functioning properly. Can we agree that river analogy that Beth gave on point? So then again, light bulbs are going off, right? Because then I was able to figure out and realize, okay, so I was having issues with my ankles. So something above that was messed up with the flow. My knee was having issues. There was some flow messed up there. So I had to go above there to figure out what exactly was going on with the flow of my lymph system. So what now? What if you, like me, have this issue? What can you do? Beth's going to give us some more tips.
Okay, this is cool. I wanted to show this to you because this is something that we can do on ourselves in the evening while we watch TV, on the couch or in bed. And this is a diagram of your feet. So have you ever had a massage and when they get to the top of your feet, it's tender and it hurts? Well, this might be why. You might have congestion, your body's letting you know that it's irritated in some of these areas. So what you're going to want to do is just massage these areas. It doesn't take a lot of pressure, just a gentle pressure, and massage up towards your heart, because this gets your circulatory system returning blood from your farthest extremity back up to your heart and lungs where it can be reoxygenated. You can also, of course, amp it up and add some oils. So you're going to see some oil recommendations here like ginger, cypress, or rosemary. And we're going to get to the next page where we've got even more recommendations for lymph, really effective oils. So might want to take a screenshot of this too, but this is something great. Like, here's what we do. We've got a couch, and in our couch, it has cup holders for drinks. And so you'll always find like 3 oils inside of my cup holder. Might be aromatouch, it could be frankincense, just depends on what I've got going on. And so as we sit there, I try to remember to attach this habit to something that I'm already doing in the evening, which is watching TV with my family. And so you can add a couple drops of oil, be massaging it into your feet and getting this great circulation and cleansing before you go lay down for rest. You can
Brace yourself for some more things.
and you've probably seen pictures of your friends on Facebook doing the cold plunge. Have you guys seen that? It's getting really popular now, and it holds so many health benefits. But the one that we're going to focus on today is this hot and cold shower, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. The reason is because in our modern society, there are two major areas of conflict for our lymph system. Number one is the lack of movement. We talked about that a little bit. We are by and large a sedentary society, and this means that we sit too much. We're sitting in the car in traffic. We're sitting at our desk at work. We're sitting in the bleachers watching our kids play a game. We're sitting in a restaurant waiting for our food to come. We sit too much. We sit and watch Netflix at the end of the day. So because of that, we're not getting that lymphatic pump going. We're not getting that circulation to happen. So one of the things that we can do, as it talks about here, is rebounding. I don't know if you guys ever watch Tony Robbins, but that is what he does every day before his big events. When he goes on stage, he is on stage for 11 plus hours. And what he does to get his system going before he goes out on that stage is he has a rebounder in the back behind the stage, and he jumps on there to get his system going. So rebounding causes the valves in the lymphatic system to open and close, and it increases lymph flow as much as 15%. So think about how easy that is. You can do that by jumping up and down, doing jumping jacks, hopping, skipping, jumping rope. Any of those activities are going to help your body with getting that lymph flow going.
So those were just a few ideas in which you could incorporate into your life to help you with your lymphatic system. But what else is there that I can share? So now that you have this little bit of introductory into learning about the lymphatic system, what it is, the role it plays, and the things we can do to help it, some other things that were really cool. I came across this really cool book in my research, and man, does it have some really cool nuggets in terms of helping ourselves with our lymphatic system, because there is so many ways that I learned that the lymphatic system can play a role in multiple ways with our health. One thing that was touched on was our immune system, but it goes way beyond that. In that book, it touches more on that. It also gives us foods that can help our lymphatic system. Some things that I learned in that book that I just showed you, how the lymphatic system can impact our GI system, our gut. So our gut health can be impacted by our lymphatic system. Our heart health can be impacted, and everything that goes in with the circulatory system. Weight management. So if you're having issues with your weight, it could be there's something going on with your lymphatic system. Brain and mind conditions, but then also the big one, the big mind-blowing thing that it did mention, the big C word. And no, I'm not talking about the C word thing that's going around, don't want to get out of here. Talking about, yes, cancer. Cancer can be affected by your lymphatic system. So it's my hope that this week's episode helped to educate you and empower you a little bit more when it comes to your health. Some things, some warning signs you can be looking out for in terms of things that you might not have thought of, right? That may be because of your lymphatic system. So stay tuned for more coming up soon.